Have you ever watched a video that's supposed to be like inspirational and helpful, but by the end of it you feel even worse than when you hit play?
Have you ever felt overwhelmed by all the things you think you should be doing to live your best life?
Self-help is a billion-dollar industry for a reason, but that doesn't mean that you need to be sold. Let's talk about the state of self-help today on the Be Somebody podcast.
Hey, welcome everyone.
My name is Amadeo.
I'm Enrique.
Be Somebody is a global community of people just like you who are chasing their dreams and supporting each other all along the way.
Welcome back to another episode. Today we're doing another classic episode where we just dive into something that we've been thinking about.
What's on your mind, bro?
What is on your mind? Some stuff is in my mind. I've been thinking about some stuff.
I got something up there.
So let me tell you about why this came up specifically for today's episode. So it all started beginning of the year. December of last year.
On a dark and stormy night.
I was reflecting on the year and I was saying, what do I want to do this next year, being 2026, to kind of encapsulate, challenge me, and push myself? As some would say, self-improvement.
Yep.
And that's when I decided to sign up for a half marathon. And this whole journey came of training and this spiraling of my algorithm on social media just being running wrong. This is how you run. You should be doing this. You should be doing that.
Yeah, learning a back foot strike, big foot strike.
All of it came from that. Yeah, exactly. Do this. It only takes 5 minutes to do this before you run. And you should be listening to this audiobook while you run. This, that.
Yeah, and then a week later I get a text, bro, you need to run a half marathon. Like, why do you keep telling yourself you can't do it, man? I was like, yeah,
exactly.
You're right.
Hey, but you did sign up for it and you did start training. And
I
now
I hurt my knee, but
one. Yeah.
I'm back in the game.
He's back in. But what essentially I'm trying to say is it all stemmed from something that I've always kind of been a fan of, and I want to feel like it started back in when I was in high school, essentially, where the rise of what now is known as the self-help world within social media, influencers, topics,
gurus,
groups, and whatnot. And I know Amadeo and specifically Amadeo has I think a different take than I do, which is why I thought, why not? Let's do an episode about this.
Well, dude, I just feel like when I was a kid, by kid, I mean,
what do you mean by kid? Yeah, I was about to say.
A kid, I mean like 15. So,
okay.
When I was in high school, when I was a teenager, when I was like coming up on senior year and graduating and going to college, dude, I was just going through a complete maelstrom or a whirlwind, I suppose, of like freaking emotions and hormones and
as everyone does
and pressures. So like life's big decisions, life's big moments,
right?
Like, where am I going to take myself from here on out? What kind of man do I want to become? What kind of person do I want to be? And also just like, what does it mean to be alive? What does it truly mean to be alive?
All the questions 15-year-olds ask themselves right now,
and I had answers for none. So I was like, what exactly, like, how do I know what to do? Like, yes, I can talk to my parents. Yes, I can have great conversations with my dad, with my friends. And, I don't know, get some advice from them. And, of course, like, that was always received and appreciated. That was great. But there still was something, like, kind of gnawing at me. I was like, yeah, it's cool to, like, listen to all this and to, have a heart-to-heart with somebody. But I just felt like, man, I need to, like, do even more. I need to do even more digging. I need to come up with an answer for myself,
right? Because
I can't be a baby being spoon fed. I need to like have some epiphany over here and really come out with like an independent conclusion.
Exactly,
something like that. So since I couldn't figure out the answer for myself, I mean, how could I? You inevitably end up turning to very famous, like the OG. I don't want to say OG, but just like, the original like self-help stuff, like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, or like, podcast by, or like The Alchemist,
exactly. Well, one could even say that was the pre-influence self-help. I mean, it's always been there, what you're talking about.
Dude, that reminds me, did you ever have that freaking book? It was the 7 Habits of Highly Successful Teens.
Exactly.
Highly Successful Adults.
Exactly. It's something that every single person wants to do. Whether you're scrolling on your phone or you hear something, or you read an article, which is, do these few things. Take this amount of time every morning to do this or that to become healthy, to change your life. Everyone wants to get fit, change your life, be more intellectual, be more engaging, be more, all of these things. And all of it stemmed from self-help. Is do these things every day.
Because I feel as though me being inexperienced and emotionally vulnerable, as many of us are around that age, I was just so susceptible to just feeling as though like I'm just not enough, man. So I need to course correct. I gotta fix it. And I remember I think it was like right after I graduated, so senior year. This must have been like it must have been like July, dude, like the summer right before freshman year. I just like took like a good long look at myself in the mirror, and I sat down like in the darkness of my room in the middle of the night. I was like, okay, like this is a threshold that you've just crossed. Like, what are you gonna be now? Kind of felt like that familiar feeling of reinvention. I had felt that from elementary school going into middle school, from middle school going into high school, and then once again high school going into college.
Right.
It's like, okay, like you were this before, but who are you gonna be now? It's almost like, okay, this is my chrysalis moment.
Yeah.
Back in the cocoon.
Right.
And let's break out and let's be something completely different. But like I mentioned, through this instability, I really didn't approach it in a way that felt like I was being like building myself up. I would say that I was honestly hurting myself more than anything, feeling like down, feeling worthless, feeling as though I was like born messed up, born broken. Therefore, I need to turn to other sources for the answer to how to be better, as opposed to appreciating like the greatness within.
Right. So essentially what you're saying is self-help content, self-help world, it was basically hurting you. Instead of you taking it as these are cool tips, habits I'm going to try out to improve my life, it actually did the opposite for you. It harmed you. It made you analyze yourself. It made you, etc.
I just didn't approach it in the best way. I didn't have like the proper reaction, I suppose. Like this, like I didn't have that like, oh, this is cool. Let me try this and see what difference that makes in my life. I was like, okay, like everything I'm doing is freaking wrong. Therefore, let me just let me just transform everything. And of course, like we've talked about this before, when you try to do such a Herculean effort of revamping your entire life, that's not sustainable. You're going to start from square one over and over and over again. Then you're going to feel like you're making no progress, like you're stuck, like your life is stagnating. And like, then you're like, what am I reading all this stuff for?
Well, here's the thing is what sells right now, and this is just in general, every single marketing platform campaign is, the 3-second hook that you always hear about was this, that, give me, grab your attention quick. And in the self-help world, it becomes, you're living your life wrong. Here's what to do. If you're doing this, you're losing 5 years of your life. All of these titles and like attention-seeking information. Yes, you do want to stick around and say, "Oh, am I losing a year of my life?" But it does come off a bit analytical and targeting yourself as if, "Oh, I'm in the wrong here. I am doing things incorrectly." And I could see how it becomes something where instead of helping you and you become interested to want to change, you're actually now walking around with this idea that what I'm doing day to day is wrong and it's ruining me, and it just starts bogging you down and weighing you down.
Dude. And as someone with anxiety, as someone who feels as though like you're just constantly prone to overthinking, I feel like this whole thing really started, and this whole seed was really planted when I was like 14 and I started texting girls for like the first time.
And why do you think?
You know what? Because I stumbled on this blog written by this guy. I don't even remember like his name, but I think the whole blog was called like How to Text Her. How to Text Her.
Okay.
I was like reading. I was like, dude, I was like 14.
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Scrolling through on my family's computer like blogs. Like, this is what you need to do. Like, this is how men must approach women over text to secure the first date, the second date, and more.
Right.
So it's like, instead of saying this, say this. Instead of doing that, do this.
Yeah,
I was just like, I must be doing everything wrong. But this began to bleed into more of my life than just like, my beginner romantic experiences.
Yeah.
It became like, maybe I'm sleeping wrong, I'm studying wrong, I'm breathing wrong, I'm walking wrong, I look wrong, my hair's wrong, everything's wrong about me. So let's fix it. And just like this crippling insecurity and self-consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, I'm not alone in feeling that. It is like a common thing to feel that
Right.
when you're 15, 14 through 19, maybe even today, 27. It's different, but
damn,
it's taking different forms.
This idea of like self-help, and you know, whenever I talk about the podcast, I don't personally think it's self-help. Like, would you identify as be somebody as self-help?
I would just say self-help in the sense like,
and
because be somebody, it's always been do it because you got the power.
Right.
You can do it. You can make the difference.
Yeah. And to me, it's yes, all that plus through conversations, being vulnerable and being honest with yourself.
Because the whole thing right here, it's built on the foundation that you have everything that you need. You're not lacking anything. So go and express the qualities that you already possess and make a difference in your life.
Right. And the reason this topic came up is because I was expressing that I genuinely feel that Be Somebody isn't self-help in that way. I think it's like a bit more because it falls under looking inwards in terms of what am I currently feeling and doing. It's more like a check-in and seeing what's in here to then grow and improve and self-help. But in a different way. And yeah, I mean, this is why I wanted to bring up this specific conversation and theme, because I think it is important. Because I also feel like the self-help genre has kind of, again, like we were referring to, has leaned a certain way where I think it could in general give off more of the opposite effort and not really helping people, because it's hard for it to survive in the landscape it is in right now.
Well, yeah, dude, the 3-second hook has now become the 1-second hook, which is now becoming like the half-second hook.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is now becoming like the pattern interruption. So like the first frame of your video needs to like be a wrench in the machine and just stop the scroll.
Images. Yeah.
So it's like all of a sudden, of course, you know, the rage baity, angry, aggressive headline is probably gonna like, you know, make someone stick around a little bit more than the reasonably worded, realistic, kind of like sensible headline.
Yeah. And
if anything, bro, here's a I just thought of this. Here's a take. If anything, I feel as though, you know, safety online and safety on social media and safety, you know, regarding, you know, the consumption of constant digital entertainment is a skill that should be discussed in schools.
Interesting. What do you mean, like dive deeply?
So it's like, you know, when the internet first came out, people were talking about like you should protect yourself on the internet by not giving out your personal information, by not talking to people that you don't know, and just like, you know, assume that like you never know who you're talking to, therefore you have to protect yourself. I think you should also be protecting yourself when it comes to consuming content. So like, what exactly are you watching? Because as we've seen, there have been some transformations that even like people that we know, where all of a sudden like we knew how they were 1 year, and then all of a sudden like after COVID, they're completely different. I'm like, why? What happened? You talk to them, it's just like I just, this is who I started like listening to.
You're a product of your environment. You're a product of what you take in, of the people around you. Yeah, 100%. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, there should be some sort of literacy in terms of
there you go, literacy,
what you consume,
digital literacy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it is a real thing, but
because like obviously it's just critical thinking. You know, like, how does this make me feel? Do I agree with this? Why or why not?
Yeah. And
then am I gonna let this really affect me? Move on.
Right.
But it's just like when you're constantly just shoveling this stuff in and you're just taking it and you're not really thinking about it, it can affect you.
Yeah.
It's like Ani Castillo said in our previous episode, the mood economy. Like your mood is significantly influenced by this algorithm, and then all of a sudden your mood becomes your personality.
Self-improvement came into our lives at an early age, and obviously everyone wants to fall into healthier.
Well, yeah, like, I want to hear your side of it, because like while I was going through all this stuff when I was, you know, 14, 15, like what were you doing at the same time?
Oh, I was doing the opposite. I was like I was that one figure in Spirited Away with like a bunch of hands just doing everything, because you start consuming it and it's like, oh, I can do that. I have 5 minutes every day. I can do the push-ups. I can do the cold plunge. I could read a book. I could do this. And, there's much more to it. But you start incorporating it into your life. And next thing you know, it's like just you do a week of it and you can handle it. And then you add something else and you add something else. And next thing you know, you're just being completely like floored with all the 5 minutes, all the 20 minutes add up to 2 to 3 hours. And you can't keep up with it anymore. And then you miss a day, you miss a third day, and then you start feeling bad about yourself. And then you start listening more about self-help of actually what you were doing was all wrong. What you should be doing is doing this. And then you start doing more and more, and it just becomes overwhelming. And it's hard. Like I could probably name like a handful of things that I actually like stuck with me that I followed when I was younger, when I was again 15 and trying to capitalize on this and that. All these bold claims.
Let's hear him.
The few things that
let's hear him.
Okay, well let me like think about it for a second.
What's a healthy attitude, right? It's a different way to, because I mean, like we mentioned, like we discussed earlier, a lot of people, myself including, and many people, when we work full time, it's your 9 to 5 or whatever the hours are. When you get off of work, you probably have 2, 3, 4 hours of free time. Right. 4 is probably even pushing it, bro.
Because I mean, you do like, let's just average an hour of commute wherever you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, some people 15, 30 minutes, great, but yeah. And then let's say an hour of cooking dinner.
Yeah, because you get home, you gotta eat, you gotta do something, you gotta exercise depending on when you're doing all that, and then all of a sudden, like, what's left for yourself?
Like 20 minutes.
But then like when you've consumed all of this optimization content, let me like optimize my life in every way, like you just said, this stuff starts to stack up, and then all the chips come falling down when you can't handle it anymore. But then you beat yourself up, you're like, why can't I handle this anymore? Well, it's because you just, I don't know, it's all up here now.
See, I think we're getting to the cause of why it came crashing down for me, because it seemed like I had habits and I had my schedule of, for me, I personally work out in the mornings and then work, and then late at night I do this, and I had my routine, my habits, and then you start taking in the self-help, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, and it becomes where it starts taking over my current routine, my current habits, and instead of incorporate into my life, it just destabilizes, because I'm removing the pillars of the healthy habits I already had that helped me, survive, function at work, get the hours of sleep I need. And, you hear, instead of everyone needs to wake up at 5 a.m. and do this. And again, you start completely just destabilizing your life, where you almost kind of like fall apart in a way if you don't do it correctly. And you just dive into this lifestyle of someone else, of the Warren Buffett lifestyle, the this and that, all these CEOs, morning routines, and it's not your life and it's not working for you. So what you should do is take in one habit at a time. I think one habit at a time, and just learn to merge it into your life. So if it revolves around waking up early, then merge it into what you're currently waking up in terms of, okay, I'm not gonna wake up at 5 a.m., but I'm waking up at 9, maybe like 7, meet in the middle, and slowly like wane into this thing.
Yeah.
Is the few things that I've kind of learned from being someone that actually likes to consume. And at this point, it's become more of like just listen to self-help. I don't know how much I'm really consuming, honestly, because everyone understands at some point you hit a certain point in your life where you're doing so much that you can't let anything else in, or else it's going to come toppling down. But I personally, where I'm at with self-help is I enjoy listening to other perspectives of what other people do to keep growing as a person or individual.
Yeah, and you can just say, oh, that's interesting. And if you really want to try it, then you could try it out. And if it works, cool. Let me see how to realistically fit this in. Otherwise, like, it's not going to happen right now. But that's totally fine. I think it's also, in the beginning, I mean, even sometimes to this day, it's just like, what am I doing all this for? What's my real reason here? What is the whole thing here? when I was a kid, I had the hair again saying kid again. When I was a teenager, when I was a teen, I was just like, well, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I was like, well, feel what? I'm like, I don't really know. Just like this. Like I said, self-conscious, insecure, unaware, dumb.
Yeah.
But even just like the way that I talk about it, like right now, like I was those things sometimes, but that wasn't all of me. That's not like, okay, this is it. You're defined as this, done and done, through and through. You are this kind of person.
Right.
That's how it felt, but that's not what it was. But because I didn't have this clearly defined like end goal, I didn't have anything particular to work on. Therefore, I tried to shoot at everything, and I ended up missing everything.
Yeah.
And I kept like building toward the sky. There's no final point. There's no sense of reward or achievement because you're not working toward anything whatsoever.
Right.
So that's what had to change for me.
Yeah, because it almost seems like, which I think is super amazing. Which this is gonna be another episode down the line is, the business that's become hobbies and how everyone's exploited a hobby. But what again, another episode. But what I'm trying to say is, it almost feels like there's an influencer, there's a coach, there's a self-help for every single aspect of your life, like cooking, sleeping, stretch. There's this one guy. Don't get me, I'm not throwing any shade at these people. But there's one guy that's like, how do you loosen up your hips and like get better, like mobility so you can bend down when you're 80. You know, like there's a specific niche influencer for all these people, and all these people have tips. And again, like what you're saying is, you're kind of just shooting at everything because obviously everyone wants to eat better hips, be able to have flexible knees, like, you know, how to professionally like sell yourself to someone, how to, you know, be
find
free
the love of your life.
Yeah. All these things that you're practicing every day that you start shooting at everything and you start missing at everything because you're spreading yourself so thin. And it's hard and it's being thrown at you constantly. And, you know, a lot of times it's you receive a reel from someone or a message on social media of this thing, you read it, cool, and then I'm gonna send someone else, and then it just becomes a heart on your message thing because it gets too much draining to try to keep up with everything.
Too much input, dude. Too much input. So slow that down. Cut it all the way down. And it's like, you know, there was this dude that I was listening to where he was like, anything that isn't pushing you towards your goal is a distraction. And so, you know, you could, you know, like I said, you know, be careful with everything that you read out there, but it's just like, you know, what is the goal really? I want to feel happy. I want to feel healthy. Well, maybe not even that. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel strong. Okay. You can do that. And if you feel, for me, for example, when I came to a certain point where I thought I can't handle this by myself, I don't have all the answers, I could use some support, and, you know, I want to speak to somebody neutral, that's when I sought therapy. That's when I actually had like a space where I could speak to somebody who had no stake in, you know, what I've been through before, what I'm going through in the future. They're just simply there to listen to me and to guide me, you know, on my journey. And so that just felt like, you know, the safe place to kind of like ask these questions of myself and to receive like an input or receive a response. And then from there, like, that's when I can like build up my mental strength, and then I can go after other things as well. Cause like my foundation was completely just cracked and messed up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound all like crazy. Like, oh, I was
broken.
I was ruined.
Self-help ruined my life. Self-help, self-harm.
It wasn't that crazy either, but I knew there were things I wanted to grow in and I wanted to advance like in my life. But when it felt as though I hit a wall,
right?
I didn't just stop and hit the wall and all of a sudden like, you know, break my nose.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we climb the wall? And how do we do it? If we need help, go get the help. Because like, dude, like, you don't need to suffer alone. It's not like that's not a prerequisite for like a successful life. You gotta suffer by yourself. You don't need to change your life if it's working.
You don't need to change your life if it's working.
Because, okay, earlier, you know, we've done an episode before where someone talked about how they became the very thing that they hate, or the very thing they used to talk smack about when they were a teenager.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, oh, when I was a kid, like, I used to just completely roll my eyes at the grown-ups who were just talking about boring mortgages and working boring jobs and not doing anything cool and like not going anywhere and living at the living in the same small town they grew up in, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward 10, 20 years later, I go to my high school reunion and I'm doing the exact same thing. I am what I used to talk smack about.
Right.
I am the guy who's working a job that they don't love, but they don't hate it either. That pays their bills. I am married to my high school sweetheart. I still live near my hometown. And I'm content. I'm happy.
Right.
And I was just like, is that so freaking bad?
No, agreed.
Is that the nightmare, bro?
Yeah,
like, you need to cut it out. Change your life. Flip it upside down.
No, 100%. I think it's
throw it out.
It's one of those things where, okay, I'm already have like these goals of like, I want to hit this weight in the gym by, this date and that, and then, you stumble upon something and it's, oh, you're doing it all wrong. Oh, okay, now I gotta change my goal to this and that, and you start pushing yourself, and then you completely go out of the path that you were already set on, and it's all because you're essentially adding more that's not what you need. Essentially, like, you are where you need to be,
and there's something to take from every experience, no matter if it's good or if it's awful.
Yeah.
Like, what can you learn from this? What can you apply in the future moving forward? When it comes to, like, the good times and also the challenging times.
Well, I guess in general, like, I guess overall, like, what we're trying to say is, self-help world has changed, but in the end of the day, it is rooted off of something important that is genuine, and you are trying to, become a better version of yourself, and, through the small, deciding to change, I kind
of want to challenge that, and that's maybe even like the whole thing behind this, bro. Not even the better version of yourself, the true version of yourself.
The true version of yourself. I like that.
Just become yourself. I think that's what it, because that's even what we talk about, self-actualization. Which is like, I've become it. I'm him.
Supposed to be. I'm him. I am him.
It was like, I did it, dude. I did it for myself.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is self-help is rooted. It's based off of that, and it's in its purest form. And what I'm trying to say is, there is genuine goodness from it. And I'm not saying shun away from self-help content.
No.
But to the earlier point I was mentioning is, take a habit, take one tip, and not just force it into your life, but merge it and mesh it with what you're currently doing, and be realistic with yourself. Because if not, your whole life is going to come toppling down if you just change something unexpectedly and you don't integrate it efficiently. Yep. And it doesn't necessarily you don't. I guess also what I want to say is, to your earlier point when you were a teenager, is I think also just be mindful of, again, the internet, social media literacy, in terms of, you don't know who's giving this advice. I think we also have to mention that. Who's giving this advice, these tips.
Yeah.
Some people really just get in front of some good lighting, in front of some
nice
backdrop
microphones and just
and a microphone, and just start yapping and talking like they know what they're talking about. And I mean, again, what I'm referring to is, be somebody who's all about is honest and being true to yourself and just talking where it comes from the heart. Like, we're not professionals. We've never claimed to be professionals. We're not therapists or anything. We are just two dudes that are just trying to become. Now in my head, I want to say a better version of ourselves, but what you were just saying, Amadeo.
Become the true version of myself.
Yeah, it's life is just rocky, and we're here just trying to figure it out. And we're hoping that you can join us in this mission. But back to what I'm referring to is, check who is really giving this knowledge and advice. And, there's a reason the term mentorship has always been a thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone in your community, which is what we're always preaching about, that is the actual physical person in your tribe that is, the good chef, the good fitness, the good knee instructor. I mean, I don't know, anything that you're trying to improve on, that you can just go and talk to someone that is living a real life, that that isn't just what pops in my head is all these like fitness influencers that their job is to be fit. So, they treat it as a job routine. They're dialed in, and who's the person you know in your life that also has a 9 to 5, that has closer of a lifestyle to you, that is also doing these things, and approach it to a realistic approach.
But doing so in a sense, like, you feel inspired by this. You feel like I can take aspects of this and fit it into my life, not completely change my life and flip it and like make it turn it into something else, and all of a sudden I don't even recognize myself.
Yeah, 100%.
So look for that. Look for that out there. You might ask yourself, well, how do I find a mentor? For example, I mean, here's what I did in the past. I used to like research the people in my community who were doing influential things. For example, like if they were in town giving a talk, or if they had some kind of like art show, for example, or I don't know, some kind of event where I could go and I could like listen to them speak. And if there was an opportunity to ask questions, you ask questions that you thought about, you really feel strongly about, and you ask like maybe one, maybe two, if you have like a moment to pull them aside. And then from there, that's the seed of a relationship.
Yeah.
And you're not like looking for a job. You're not looking for someone to save you. You're not looking for some kind of like, I don't know, pull me out of the trench.
Yeah.
But rather, it's an exchange,
Yeah, just exchange. And very much like we're talking about, mentorship is one thing, but, and I know I always mention it, I swear at this point to every episode, but it is very much about community. A tribe, individuals that help each other, push each other to, self-improve. And these are the people that are your, self-help.
Yeah. And even your closest friends.
See, that's the thing, is it shouldn't even be called self-help. It's
I don't know, dude.
Tribe help. It's not be somebody, it's we somebody.
We somebody, bro.
We somebody.
We in this together.
Yeah, exactly. Okay? But yeah, I mean, we're here, be somebody trying to change up what it means, redefine the self-help genre, do our own take on it through honesty, and really just being ourselves. And we're learning here with you. We're still growing every day in different capacities.
Yeah.
And becoming who we're meant to be.
There you go. It's you. The keyword, like, who do you want to be? Who are you meant to be? Not just like, this is who I'm this is who I'm being sold.
Yeah,
or like,
exactly.
Like someone is selling this idea of myself to me, therefore I need to buy into that idea.
Exactly.
Like, don't be sold. Don't be sold anything.
Don't be sold.
Especially if it feels just like something completely, I don't know, because you don't know that. Like, oh, bro, like, dude, we talked about this before. Like, sign up for this course.
And we say it jokingly. Our humor is very, we're always being ironic, and yeah, we're never selling.
It's like, you're messed up, but you won't be after you spend $1,000 on this.
Yeah,
trust me.
Or 5 installments of $199.
Yeah, or 24 months with Klarna, bro.
Exactly.
Dang. But as always, it's like we talk about, you have the power, you have the choice, you have everything that you need in order to get what you want from your life. And you don't need to settle, but you don't need to feel as though like, okay, I only matter if I achieve the greatest of the greatest goals.
Exactly.
As like we talked about in a previous episode, you don't need to be famous to be special. You don't need to be famous to be loved. You don't need to be rich to be important.
Yeah.
So think about what you really, really want out of your life. And don't let it be tainted by materialism or consumerism or greed or, I don't know, things that you think you want, but you, at the end of the day, you might get them and then you're only going to want more. Because I've heard of that too.
Yeah. Cool. This is time for...
Let me put you on.
Let me put you on.
Let me put you on.
Let me put you on. So Let Me Put You On is a segment that we always do, which is essentially something we've been watching, doing, and been enjoying. Really can range from anything that we just want to give a shout out to. Maybe someone else will enjoy it and also find some value from it. So my Let Me Put You On is honestly very straightforward, but as I mentioned, signed up for a half marathon. I ran the half marathon. It was great. Finished it, accomplished it, felt great that I just set a goal and I achieved it. So I guess my Let Me Put You On is set a goal for not everyone's like, oh, I want to do this before I die, or this or that. Like, set a goal to accomplish by the end of this year, and actually sign up, do the contract that you will accomplish it, you will do it, and because that feeling of just accomplishment it just feels great.
Do something unexpected, but not completely out of left field.
Mm-hmm.
Like do something that that I think there's a chance I will really enjoy this. I've never tried it before.
Right, and it doesn't have to be anything huge. Like
take a ceramics class.
Yeah, it genuinely could be anything. Go out for a date night without the kids. I mean, I don't know, whatever,
Yeah, go somewhere alone and try to make a new friend.
Yeah, or just go alone and spend a day.
Or just
alone.
a day alone, a whole day alone.
Cherish
treat
yourself.
Treat yourself to something. Like go out there. Exactly. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Or not. We're just two dudes on a couch in the internet. Live your life.
So earlier we were talking about social media and the rise of constant increasing screen time.
Right.
And feeling as though your phone has tentacles and it's sucking you in.
Mm-hmm.
So of course there are so many excellent screen time blocking apps out there right now. You can choose from several. Mm-hmm. My brother and I challenged each other.
Ooh.
We held each other accountable to limit our screen time. Because he and I both realized pretty much at the same time that, bro, what are we doing, dude? With this doom scrolling. First thing I do when I wake up, I turn off my alarm, and then I don't even get up after my alarm. You know what I do? I with my eyes halfway open, and all my eyes are already hurting. They're already dry. I'm looking through my email. What's the algorithm gonna feed me today? Mm-hmm. What's for breakfast? I'll go.
Right.
And that's not a way to spend a mindful morning.
Yeah.
And what was it do? It just made me feel even more tired. It made me feel like I'm already behind on my day.
Yeah.
And then my brother and I, we were talking about it, the amount of time that we're just spending on nothing, giving our time to nothing.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. It's doom scrolling, but then freaking 1 minute will pass. You don't even know what you just saw, or you saw something so crazy that you're just I did not need to see this. Mm-hmm. So we chose to limit our screen time. And when it comes to social media, having pretty much only accessing it during certain times of the day. And I set a custom, let me put you on as dude, if you're thinking about an app blocker, get one and just try it out for yourself. I'm not going to shout out a specific one, but because there are many great options out there, but just try it out for yourself. Yeah. So I set one where I could do custom times. Mm-hmm. So between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., all of my social media entertaining apps, distracting apps are blocked. This has helped me get up when my alarm goes off, and also have, have a proper unwind routine to feel okay, now I'm going to pass out. Right. And I do. I sleep more effectively now. Instead of just a blue light, or even just that yellow night shift that doesn't even really do much, just burning into my retinas. Mm-hmm. Nah.
Yeah.
And the both of us, we've replaced this little doom scrolling habit with different, actually going outside. Yeah. There you go. Or learning a new skill.
There you go.
My brother's producing music. He's songwriting. He's learning the guitar. Mm-hmm. And he's looking for music internships. So he's spending more of his time seeking opportunities in the music industry, as opposed to what he was doing before, I don't know, memes. And then me getting outside, touching grass, meditating, breathing, looking at, discovering new topics for the podcast. Yeah. Calling my parents. Mm-hmm. You already know. Already more productive than just being served nothing.
Exactly. Well,
let me put you on.
Thank you all for joining another episode. And, here we're going, y'all. It's already almost halfway through the year. Yeah. And we're still at it. So, celebrate the small victories as you go.
Yep. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking with us. Really appreciate your time and attention. My name is Amadeo.
My name is Enrique.
This was the Be Somebody podcast. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, it's Amadeo.
And Enrique.
We want to let you know that we're your friends, but we are not licensed therapists. This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional.